Hey all, I'm Jason Levon, priest at St. Luke's Episcopal Church in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and welcome to another edition of Pause and Pray. Yesterday afternoon, my wife Christy and I found ourselves in this very room of the rectory here at St. Luke's, sitting on the couch, reading, and that's when we saw something beautiful unfold outside our front window. Two neighbors had decided to connect with each other, observing the proper social distancing, of course, that we're all observing at this time. They were on opposite sides of the streets, but they both got out lawn chairs and bundled themselves up in winter clothing because it was about 25 degrees in Milwaukee yesterday with the wind chill. They had thermoses of their favorite beverages and blankets over them, and they were sitting in their lawn chairs across the street, just connecting in conversation with one another. Shortly after that, we received a text from another neighbor saying, "Hey, grab your favorite beverage and come out and connect with us if you can." So Christy and I, realizing that we love each other, but kind of need at this time to connect with people other than ourselves, instinctively got up off of the couch, driven to want to connect with other people. We went to the garage and got lawn chairs and bundled up and got blankets and got our thermoses. And we went outside and sat in the front of our yard. And then another mom and her two children saw what we were doing, and she came and joined in her front yard. And then another couple with their child came and sat down in their front yard. And then a man a few houses down came and joined us at the appropriate social distance. And suddenly there was this impromptu coffee hour of 6 households and 13 people on our street and across our street, all connecting in conversation. And if you're an Episcopalian like I am, you know how holy coffee hours are because of the connection that they're able to foster. I'm standing in the rectory by a favorite icon of mine and of many. It's an icon known as Rublev's Trinity, painted in the 15th century. It depicts the story in chapter 18 from Genesis, where Abraham and Sarah unknowingly entertain God in these 3 guests who come to reveal and re-articulate God's promise that Abraham and Sarah would have descendants. And for Christians, as Rublev depicted these 3 visitors in this icon, it came to symbolize the mystery we as Christians call the Trinity. This notion that God is one, but 3 persons in one God. And what Rublev is trying to get us to even get a glimpse of is this inexhaustible mystery that we can never fully define, but only enter into. And that is that God at God's heart is fundamentally this pure and perfect relationship of love. The Greek word for that is perichoresis. This notion that the Father and Son and Spirit completely empty themselves into one another. And it's out of that self-emptying that a perfect unity and a perfect connection is formed. It's no wonder then that if we're created in God's image, we would be created with that same longing and desire to want to connect. And it's that same longing and desire that was at work in my life, in Christy's life, and in our neighbors' lives yesterday. It doesn't always happen in marvelous, magnificent ways. Sometimes it's what just gets us up off the couch and out so that we can connect with one another. And in all of that, I find myself invited today to pause and to pray about what it is that I long to connect with. Whom do I long to connect with? And how does that longing to connect fill me with more life? And to give praise to God, because it's that very longing to connect that's instinctive to each and every one of our lives that not only moves us to connect more deeply with one another, but ultimately with our Lord. And I invite you to pause and pray about the same. God's peace and blessings to you all.